How are you today?
Hi.
What's in your magical world these days? What's lighting up for you?
Well, I had something fun happen. I was at the car rental place on Thanksgiving, which was like this kind of 2-hour line with like 50 people ahead of me and three agents, and everyone really bummed that on Thanksgiving they have to be in this room. And so I started doing my full on workout in the middle of the line. And I'm doing my
Wow.
push-ups and my jumps and I'm back and forth, and I have a little bell that rings to tell me when to start and stop. And I announced it to everyone, so I wasn't just doing it. And it went on for like a half an hour, I got it done and it does, it stirs up the energy and then people start moving faster and things start to move. And this woman started busting up and she goes, I just got off a comedy cruise that I paid $5,000 for. And I shouldn't laugh this much.
Wow.
It
That's
was
That
so
is
awesome.
so
fun.
fun.
It
That
was
is so
so fun.
spontaneous and fun and way to
Yeah.
play with energy, right?
Right?
Because it was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so who says that my family that I'm going to go see is my family? What if all these people in this room are my Thanksgiving family for right now? Like, why not? Why not just love them up and joke with them? And
And you just rippled out all that energy out to your whole line and to everybody in that
yeah.
place,
Yeah,
right?
this woman I bumped into out in the parking lot, she goes, you were pure joy.
There you go. Oh, I love that. I love that.
That is awesome. Oh
That's
my
just
God. What an
magic.
impression you've made on everyone. And they're all going to be like, she just did exercising while we were waiting for the rental car. I can do this. Like I can go do whatever the heck I want to do. Oh yeah, that's how you
I,
light it up.
I can choose where I want to play Joy all day long. It could be in the lineup. Um,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I was
Make
gonna.
everywhere your playground. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, I was
Wow.
sharing earlier with you guys about the my grandson and his how he loves to just like I feel like when he makes these noises, he doesn't really speak much yet. He's almost two, and sometimes they want to label and say that they're slow or if they're, but I feel like he has these like connections with birds and animals. Like back in Nebraska, he would I would take him for walks, and there would be these, I don't even know how to say those right. The lotuses. What did you call it?
Locust.
Yes, yes. So there were these noises that were in the trees, and it would be like a meow, meow, and all the and it's loud, and I would constantly every day take him out when I'd go visit. And then now that was like, about 4 or 5 months ago he was there, and now we're here, and for the last like couple months I've been noticing the noises that he does make are those same noises. So I was like, is he connecting with those birds? Like, is he connecting? And I remember when when he was young, and when I'd go visit him, and I would always connect with the animals and the birds and the trees all around my daughter for like, hey, it's your turn to protect her while I go. Just, it's just in thought form and sending out the love. And then recently walking around, and it's funny because this other guy was like, oh, wow, he looks like he's having a good time. And he goes, he sounds like the crows. So I just thought that was fun and magical that he would actually notice that he sounds like the crows now. So I'm curious. I'm thinking that he can connect with all these beings. Like, since I'm very intuitive and connected with all these animals and nature and stuff. So, yeah, I thought that
You know,
was.
bringing to mind this woman, she is some famous, I think she is a whale or a dolphin therapist, but she didn't talk until she was like 6 years old. And she would just run out into the forest and she writes about how, she would just run out, as a young child and like the moss and the leaves and the trees and these deep, deep, the mushrooms, all these really deep connections that she had, you know?
That is magical.
Yeah,
That's
because
magical.
sometimes the
Yeah.
smartest kids don't talk early because they know they don't have to. So I
And
think,
well, and I had told Giovanna, I said, well, that sounds like, I mean, we're so connected, right? When we come in before the limits get put on us, and you can't do this, you can't do that.
Mhm.
And it's like, what if we just like hold that wave of thought open without collapsing it and saying, oh my gosh, something's wrong, something's not normal because he's not speaking. But we hold that wave of possibility open. And what I had mentioned to Javona is, my nieces who live in France, they grew up in a household that spoke 3 languages, and they didn't speak for probably till they were like 2 or 2.5. And then when they spoke 3 languages. Right? So what if he is keeping alive those languages that are in a higher realm than us, right? Like the ones that we've relearned how to open, these intuitive skills that we've learned to reopen, as far as like Javona with her mediumship, and us with our channeling, and the animal communication, and the communication with the tree, communication with all of life is basically what we've reopened, right? Because the wave supposedly got collapsed when we were younger, because whatever limits were being perceived of, oh my gosh, you can't do that, you can't speak with your dog, what are you doing, or who is your imaginary friend, we can't see your imaginary friend, or why are you talking to grandpa hasn't been in the physical for years, and collapse. But now we've reopened that in our own life. So what if Zathrian is just he is keeping alive because that's his world, right? And no one's told him no.
Yeah.
No one's told him like, is there something wrong? No, it's like he's surrounded by his family that's like, this is interesting, this is cool, like what is this, and so he's just keeping alive that intimate, that the communication with all of life beyond what we even know yet. Like that we're just beginning to comprehend, right, as we expand our consciousness, that there's light language, that there's star families, that there's all this stuff. But he came in with that, and he's surrounded himself with a family that's like, let's get on board with this wave that Zathrian came in on and see what the heck's cooking up, right? Yeah.
Well, you know what it reminds me of too is, if we are in the new earth going into full telepathic communication, then what if and I'm not saying Zathrian's going to be like this, but what if the kids start coming in and they just skip the verbal part and they just go all telepathy, like in the future, I could see that happening, they're like, oh, that's so old.
Yeah,
possibly, right? So old school, you and your language.
Our language is singing and dancing and playing, like that's the language. That's the new language, right?
Yeah.
Playing and having fun.
Yeah, but you mentioned that, what a difference it makes. He's landed in this beautiful, welcoming, you are, everything that you are is wonderful. You're perfect the way you are. Don't change a thing,
Yeah, I just sit there with just the biggest smile and brightest eyes, and I just sit there and allow him to just be who he is and not even, think or judge or anything. I'm just like basking in his innocence, in his joy, in his, as a baby, as a toddler, you're all like, what's this? What's this? What's this? Everything is all innocent excitement for them. They're not needing to be like, oh, he's not talking. Yeah. So what? Like you're going to tell a boy that's in his glories, like innocent excitement, and, he's not talking. And then, the other people might say, we need to fix this or whatever. And it's just like, no, let's just allow this. Let's just allow this and learn from it. I don't like what other abilities I'm expanding and receiving from him being in this higher state. I feel like it's his higher state of joy. Like he's having a great time. He's very fully aware.
And he's fully embodied that innocent excitement that the council brought up this month, to be in that innocent excitement and innocence. There's no judgment. There's no, oh, I already know how to do this. Let's, come on, let's get this done. Or, oh, that's this. And so it can't be something different, right? It's innocence. You're just like in that state of wonderment that it's like, and what we were speaking about earlier is about when they're younger, and some people retain this throughout their life, and some people bring it back in their life knowing that, oh, I miss that aspect of me. I feel like I'm one of those people that have brought it back after witnessing my nieces when they were young, being in that wonderment, that innocent excitement of like, oh, what is the colors in this flower? And they just picked these teeny tiny flowers that were amidst this entire landscaped area, and they would pick the teeniest tiniest flower, and then we just look at it for minutes, or even longer, and just see all the detail and all the colors and just all of that beauty in this teeny tiny thing that's the size of your fingernail or something. And that's that innocent excitement. It's like some people be like, oh yeah, those been, oh yep, that's just ice plant or something like that. But
Yeah.
to just, you don't know what that's what that sparks. I mean, it sparked in me more attention to the beauty surrounding me, like hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Sparked that.
That's how I felt with
Yeah.
my grandchildren. It was like I could truly be me. Like, oh, look at that. Smell that. We were all under the smells of the flowers,
So
Mm-hmm.
you get all those senses, they're already in the sixth sense and everything,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
already fully aware of the surroundings. Even if the one, like they think they have all these imaginary friends and not, but to them it's not imaginary. It's what they get to see with their visions, like
Yeah.
Yeah. How many realms are they capable of interpreting through their eyesight or through their senses that we have to reopen
Yes.
to engage with? But they are already in several realms of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're all moving into that. That's the multi-dimensionality that all the spiritual teachers talk about. They're like, you're a multi-dimensional being. And it's the expansion of our awareness and staying in that innocence, that non-judgment, innocent awareness, innocent, oh, what am I seeing? Like, not like maybe we'll have something come into our awareness, our field of vision, or even just our field of awareness, that we can sense something, and staying in that innocent of like, oh, I don't know what, like I'm feeling something, but I'm not going to collapse that wave of potential by saying what I think it is, what somebody's told me things are. I'm just going to stay in that innocent excitement, innocent awareness, that wonderment, and be like, oh, I'm perceiving beyond, like there's something beyond what I've named everything, and I'm starting to incorporate another level of creation within my awareness. I mean, it's so exciting.
Well, as a child, all you do is have this imagination, and you're so creative, and you're using your right side of the brain. You're so authentic, and it's so magical. But then, as we're getting older, it's like kind of take out the imagination, but it's truly the imagination what keeps us in that magical state that anything is possible. And it is, because that's the sparkles that we're talking about, because we've been living in this higher dimensions, raising our consciousness and using our imagination. The more I use my imagination, it just shows up.
Yeah. I had the special days. I was on the beginning of my trip, and oh my gosh, I went around this curve at the summit of the mountain. It's the highest year-round pass that's kept open in the United States. It's like almost 9,000 feet. And, you know, we really haven't had much snow this year, and I'm wailing down, get there to the airport, get there on time. And there was a big shadow part right on the shadow side of that curve. And I hit that ice and I went sideways, backwards, boom, into the ice bank. And I was deeply buried in this ice bank and up to the fender. And I have like a raised truck, so it's pretty high to get to that fender. And I couldn't go forward or backward because I come in sideways, you know, so it was up high, forward, backward. I didn't have a shovel. I had a hammer. I dug it out to turn my hubs to try to get in four-wheel drive. Some laborers stopped. They tried to help me. And but they didn't have four-wheel drive on their truck. And this guy from a pest control company, English Pest Control, pulls over and he goes, "This is a little truck. We can pick it up." And so we did. Like all five of us just picked up the back, because only the backside had to get out, really. And we just would lift it and lift it and lift it. And I got down to that airport in time to have like this big salad I brought before I went on the plane. And then I thought, well, now I need to go buy a bottle of water because I got to make sure I have enough water. Because even when I get there, the shuttle is going to take me across the border to Mexico, so I won't have time to buy it then. And I go in the bathroom and there's this beautiful bottle of Smart Water sitting on the counter, you know, and I'm asking everyone if it's theirs, and it's not, you know. And then I got to my room and I'm like, you know, it's Tijuana, it's not supposed to be so safe. So I'm kind of hesitant to go out and buy a gallon of water. And voila, this hotel, since I was there, has installed water filters in their rooms, on their bathroom sinks. So you know, and it's not only just filtered, it was so sweet. It was really delicious water. So, you know, that's what I'm saying about like when you fall into the abundance where you no longer care what the outside looks like at all, then that's when it can really come through to you. You know, because that's when you really have the portal really open and you're not going, oh yeah, I feel open, but then there's this over here. You know, you're not being dragged down by that anymore.
Just receiving, just pure receiving. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, and more thank you, and more thank you. It's it's just the only contrast is you choosing like, maybe I like it in a different color, or maybe I like it in a different flavor, or maybe I like it in, you know, this amount, or, you know, it's just choosing like.
Yeah. And I love what Tom Curran says. He says, you can only see what you believe and expect. And so I know previously, like I was told magic didn't exist. I was told, you know, like this is how it is and all this stuff. And then now that I've let go of a lot of those previous beliefs and just stay in that imagination, that sense of wonder and eagerness and excitement and innocence, I'm not judging things, that allows that field of possibility to open up again. And just like a tiny little thing. I was at Walmart the other day and I think it was the day before Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving, no carts anywhere. And I hadn't listened because I heard bring a cart, you know, and I didn't. I just walked into the store and then I realized, you know what, I'm going to get a couple more things than I thought. And so I went up to the greeter and I said, do you have any of those little baskets or anything? He goes, no. And he goes, wasn't there a cart? And I said, no, there wasn't any carts. And so I have these things I'm going to buy. And I'm like, what am I doing? I can just, you know, I always have everything I need. And I just did that phrase from the council, galore, galore. I have everything I need and want and more. And I just said that like 2 times and literally walked by a closed cash register and there was an empty cart right there.
You're like, voila, there's the magic for you.
Exactly. And so I was just like, you know, can it be that easy? And that's what I was saying to myself. I'm like, come on, Jeannie, it can be this easy with everything, right? Like I had no attachment to the cart thing, right? It was like,
I'm just gonna shop no matter what, and I'll carry it, but it would be nice. So I didn't have that attachment of like, it's gotta happen this way. And so it was just like, hey, we'll just float in a cart right in front of her there. And
It's like that, this or something better. So always like, I know it's all going to be perfect, but if not more than what I thought it would be, allowing the universe to just kind of surprise and delight me, just without being attached to anything. It's actually fun. So fun. So fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any other ways you've seen that playing out? Because I think that fundamental thing of like, you can't see what you don't believe,
Well, my belief system is like, whew, I'm so open. Like I've seen just so many magical things now the past how many years since they've been open to this. Now it's just like my whole day is filled with like happy thoughts. Like I get the tingles all day long. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling like the tingles all up my back and my head, and it's just that vibration that we're vibrational beings. I just love feeling this vibration. It's just like it's not even like the outside world now. It's just like I am vibrating as I'm walking down the street or going for my walks or just anything, and just being surprised and delighted and being like, oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, that's so beautiful. It's just, it feels good.
It's so beautiful, Giovanna.
would you say that that's the practice of how you exist in that vibration, how you made that groove? It's like you switch the tracks of this is how normal people go through their day, and then you're on this magic track, the sparkle track, right?
Yes.
The higher frequency track.
The yellow brick road. It's sparkly and it's golden, and I'm like and I got my special shoes on. I can go wherever I want. I got my special friends that come and visit me. Oh, I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
Yeah. And it was just allowing more and more of that into your life, and the awareness. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Oh, I'm going to go on, recognizing, I'm going on another trip. Oh, look at all these people showing up to go with me, and look at all these new people that I'm meeting when I'm there. And
oh my goodness. Yeah. Like, I don't know, 3 years ago, I wrote in my journal, I was like, I'm going to be traveling the world, meet like-minded people all over the world. And oh my gosh, I've met so many people, all of you, and it just keeps getting better and better. Like the last couple trips I've had were just like, I could just when I was sharing the Airbnb with you, and there was 4 of us in there, and it was just like waking up, and it was just that feeling of energy because we were all in this frequency, the vibration, and it just felt like Asheville was just lit up. So it was like, there was not even a moment for me that I had thought that anything was ever wrong or anything. Like if you had even a moment of like, I'm not sure about that. It was just like, oh, I can just lie here and I just know that it was like all happening for me.
Yeah.
There's nothing that had to be done. It was just like, I can just play. I can just have fun. I can just, of course, you still might have, some old things might come up, but it's just loving it. Oh yeah, that was a thought I used to think. Oh, I love it. I love you.
Oh, I love that. That's really good when something does come up like that, and it's just like, oh, I remember when I used to think like that.
Yeah.
I can choose again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we've come to our end of our time, Sparklets.
Ooh, that was fun. I feel all sparkly. I hope you guys feel sparkly. I love your crown. I definitely want to order some crowns like you sent me.
Yeah, I gotta look for my tiara. I know I have a crown somewhere. My sparkle crown.
Yeah, and maybe look into getting a wand too. I think that would go good.
Yeah, I do have a wand. It's not
You You sparkle.
Sparkle.
You are the light. You shine
You
so
shine so
bright.
bright.
You
You
sparkle,
sparkle.
sparkle,
Sparkle.
sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
I like your bell.
Bye, everyone.